In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 12 potato chip brands hiding allergen failures, contamination risks, and ingredient shortcuts behind their crispy packaging and familiar logos. Plus, I'll reveal the 5 brands that actually deliver simple, clean ingredients without the hidden dangers. Stay until the end, because number 1 will transform how you navigate the chip aisle forever. Let's start with what's probably sitting in your pantry right now. 12. Lay's. Starting at number 12, Lay's holds a special place in American snack history, but recent events reveal serious concerns beneath those familiar yellow bags. The FDA posted an official announcement that Frito-Lay recalled certain 13-ounce bags of Lay's classic potato chips because they contained undeclared milk. For anyone with a milk allergy, this represents a genuine health threat, potentially triggering reactions ranging from hives to life-threatening anaphylaxis. The recall specified exact product identifiers, including guaranteed fresh dates, UPC codes, and manufacturing codes distributed across specific states. What makes this particularly troubling is that many of you have been buying Lay's for decades, trusting the brand implicitly without ever questioning what's inside. Food allergies don't disappear with age, and some people actually develop new sensitivities as they grow older, making accurate labeling more critical than ever. When a brand this established makes labeling errors that could send someone to the emergency room, it breaks decades of earned trust and raises questions about what other oversights might be happening behind the scenes. 11. Ruffles. At number 11, Ruffles faces the same parent company problem that undermines consumer confidence across Frito-Lay's entire product line. The FDA posted a Frito-Lay announcement recalling Ruffles all-dressed chips due to undeclared milk. The announcement specifically described a mispackaging situation where chips containing milk ingredients ended up in bags that didn't declare milk on the label anywhere. Someone with a dairy allergy reaching for what they believe is a safe snack could face a medical emergency because the wrong chips went into the wrong bag during production. For older adults managing multiple dietary restrictions, whether due to allergies, intolerances, or health conditions, this kind of error represents a fundamental betrayal of trust that's hard to forgive. You're doing everything right, reading labels carefully and making informed choices, and then the manufacturer puts the wrong product in the package, completely undermining your careful efforts. The mispackaging suggests quality control failures at the production facility, raising serious questions about what other errors might slip through their systems undetected. 10. Miss Vickie's. Coming in at number 10, Miss Vickie's markets that kettle-cooked authenticity with rustic packaging, but their recall reveals how contamination can hide in unexpected places. The FDA posted a Frito-Lay announcement recalling select jalapeno-flavored Miss Vickie's kettle-cooked chips due to potential salmonella contamination in the seasoning blend used to flavor these chips. Salmonella causes food poisoning that can be particularly severe for older adults whose immune systems may not fight bacterial infections as vigorously as those of younger people. The recall scope was defined by specific date codes and multi-pack formats affecting products distributed across multiple states. What's especially concerning is that seasoning contamination suggests problems with either the supplier providing the ingredients or the facility where seasonings are mixed and applied to the chips. For consumers who pay extra for kettle-cooked chips expecting higher standards and better quality control, this recall proves that premium price doesn't guarantee protection from basic contamination issues. The fact that a seasoning ingredient could harbor dangerous bacteria reveals vulnerabilities in the supply chain that most consumers never consider when choosing their favorite chip flavors. 9. Kroger Private Label. At number 9, Kroger's store brand demonstrates exactly why private label products deserve extra scrutiny and careful evaluation. The FDA announced that Kroger's Sweet and Mesquite BBQ potato chips were recalled due to undeclared milk allergen that could harm sensitive consumers. But it gets considerably worse when you examine the details. An FDA warning letter describes what went wrong. A seasoning addition error led to an undeclared allergen, and the letter specifically cites inadequate allergen controls at the seasoning step of production. This isn't just a one-time packaging mistake. It's a systemic failure in how the manufacturer handles allergen safety throughout their operations. Kroger doesn't manufacture these chips themselves. They contract with co-packers who produce store-brand products alongside their own brands in the same facilities. When allergen controls fail at the production level, it affects whatever label goes on the bag, whether it's a national brand or store brand. The warning letter indicates the problem went beyond simple human error to inadequate systems for preventing allergen cross-contamination, suggesting deeper operational issues that could affect other products from the same facility. 8. Meijer private label. At number 8, Meijer's store brand shares the same manufacturer problems that plague private label products throughout the industry. The FDA announced that Shearer's Foods recalled Meijer dill pickle flavored potato chips due to undeclared milk, with the issue linked to mispackaging and human error at their production facility. Shearer's Foods operates as a major co-packer, producing chips for multiple store brands across the country under different labels. When one facility makes an error in their production process, it ripples across numerous brands, affecting shoppers from different chains who have no idea they're eating chips from the same manufacturer. For Midwest shoppers who've relied on Meijer for generations as their trusted neighborhood grocery store, this recall hits particularly hard and feels like a personal betrayal. The human error explanations suggest inadequate training or oversight at the production facility, raising serious concerns about what other mistakes might occur when systems and supervision fail. This pattern of the same manufacturer causing problems across multiple store brands should make consumers think twice about the hidden risks of private label products. 7. Food Lion. Private label landing at number 7, Food Lion's chips reveal how widespread the allergen crisis has become across the store brand industry. The FDA posted a Shearer's Foods announcement recalling Food Lion dill pickle flavored potato chips due to undeclared milk allergen. Same manufacturer, same fundamental problem, just a different store brand label on the package. The announcement lists distribution states and multiple lot codes identifying affected products sold across a wide geographic area in the Southeast. For shoppers across the region who depend on Food Lion as their primary grocery store and trusted shopping destination, this erodes trust in the familiar brands they've relied on for years. When the same co-packer makes the same allergen mistake across multiple store brands, it exposes the hidden risk in private label products that shoppers rarely consider. The widespread nature of these recalls from a single manufacturer should raise red flags about the consolidated food production system that puts profit margins ahead of quality control. 6. Raley's private label. At number 6, Raley's regional presence doesn't protect shoppers from the national manufacturer problems affecting the entire supply chain. The FDA posted a Shearer's Foods announcement recalling Raley's salt and vinegar flavored potato chips because they may contain undeclared milk allergen. For West Coast shoppers who view Raley's as a higher quality alternative to national discount chains, this feels like a particular betrayal of the premium image they've cultivated. Salt and vinegar chips traditionally don't contain milk at all in their standard formulation, making this undeclared allergen even more unexpected and concerning. Someone avoiding dairy would reasonably assume these chips are safe based on the traditional recipe for this classic flavor. But milk showed up where it absolutely shouldn't exist. The fact that a simple flavor like salt and vinegar could harbor hidden milk suggests deeper problems with ingredient control and separation at the manufacturing facility that processes multiple products. 5. Clancy's Aldi private label. At number 5, Clancy's demonstrates that even popular discount retailers face serious safety issues despite their reputation for value. The FDA announced that Old New York potato chips recalled Clancy's wavy potato chips due to undeclared milk allergen that could harm consumers with dairy sensitivities. Aldi has attracted shoppers of all income levels with surprising quality at remarkably low prices that seem almost too good to be true. Many older adults on fixed incomes rely on Aldi to maintain their quality of life while managing limited retirement budgets. But this recall reveals the vulnerability inherent in the discount model that makes those low prices possible in the first place. To offer such low prices that draw budget-conscious shoppers, Aldi contracts with manufacturers who produce at the lowest possible cost, sometimes cutting corners on quality control. When quality control suffers to maintain those razor-thin profit margins that make discount pricing viable, consumers pay the real price with their health and safety. The undeclared milk allergen could trigger serious reactions in shoppers who trusted Aldi's private label quality based on their previous positive experiences with other store brand products. 4. Mr. Crisps. At number 4, Mr. Crisps reveals what happens when manufacturers cut corners on labeling and ingredient controls throughout their entire operation. An FDA warning letter cites Mr. Crisps salad chips and pizza-flavored chips as misbranded products, with issues tied to milk-containing ingredients and serious problems with allergen hazard evaluation and controls. The letter also cites failures to properly declare artificial colors and preservatives, along with other labeling issues affecting ingredient declaration and nutrition labeling accuracy. This isn't a one-time packaging mistake or isolated incident. It's a disturbing pattern of non-compliance with basic food safety regulations designed to protect consumers. The FDA doesn't issue warning letters casually or for minor infractions. They represent serious violations suggesting systemic problems throughout production and labeling processes that affect multiple product lines. When a manufacturer fails this comprehensively across multiple basic safety requirements, it demonstrates a fundamental disregard for consumer welfare and regulatory compliance. This is a brand to avoid entirely, regardless of price or convenience, because the pattern of violations suggests deeper problems that likely extend beyond what the FDA has documented. 3. Pringles. Claiming number 3, Pringles has always occupied a strange space in the chip world, and the ingredient list explains exactly why they feel so different. The published ingredient list for Pringles Original includes dried potatoes, plus wheat starch, maltodextrin, dextrose, mono and diglycerides, and leavening agents, among other additives. This isn't a potato chip in the traditional sense that most consumers understand. It's a processed potato product molded into uniform shapes through industrial food technology. The ingredient list reveals multiple added starches and processing aids that go far beyond the simple potatoes, oil, and salt formula that defined chips for generations. For consumers who remember when chips were actually sliced potatoes, fried and salted, Pringles represents the industrialization of snack food taken to its logical extreme. That perfect uniform shape and stackable design comes at the cost of simplicity and recognizable ingredients that real food should have. You're not eating potatoes in any meaningful sense. You're eating a starch blend that includes potatoes along with wheat and corn derivatives formed into chip shapes. Each additional ingredient represents another step away from real food toward engineered product designed for maximum shelf stability and profit margins, rather than nutrition or quality. 2. Harris coming in at number 2, Harris' regional popularity doesn't excuse concerning ingredients. Ingredient lists for some Harris flavors include additives such as monosodium glutamate and artificial flavor, depending on the variety. MSG remains controversial, with many people reporting headaches and reactions after consumption. For older adults already managing multiple medications and health conditions, adding MSG creates unnecessary risk. Some people develop increased sensitivity to MSG as they age. The artificial flavor designation represents dozens of undisclosed chemical compounds created in laboratories. When a label says artificial flavor, you have no idea what you're actually eating. Some Harris varieties also list milk-derived ingredients such as whey or sour cream, creating a minefield of flavors to navigate for those with dairy sensitivities. 1. Munchos. Taking the number 1 spot as the absolute worst potato chip product, Munchos abandons any pretense of being actual potato chips. The ingredient lists include multiple grain and starch ingredients, including enriched cornmeal and potato-based ingredients, creating what's essentially a multi-grain crisp rather than a sliced potato chip. The enriched cornmeal means corn that's been processed to remove nutritious parts, then had synthetic vitamins added back. This represents peak food engineering, taking inexpensive grain starches and molding them into uniform shapes that crisp up in your mouth. For consumers who grew up when chips meant sliced potatoes fried in oil, Munchos represents everything wrong with modern snack manufacturing. You're paying for engineered texture and artificial flavoring applied to cheap starch blends. The name itself misleads, suggesting potato content that's minimal compared to corn and other fillers. That light, crispy texture comes from puffed grain starches, not from sliced potatoes. After exposing these 12 brands hiding allergen failures, contamination risks, and ingredient deception, here's the relief you need. Not every chip brand gambles with your health or hides processing behind misleading labels. The following 5 brands prove that potato chips can still be made the right way, with real potatoes, quality oil, and simple seasoning. These are the chips that honor what potato chips were always meant to be. The 5 safer potato chip brands. 5. Boulder Canyon. Starting our safer list at number 5, Boulder Canyon delivers exactly what potato chips should be. Their avocado oil sea salt chips feature a remarkably short ingredient panel: potatoes, avocado oil, and sea salt. That's it. 3 ingredients you can recognize and understand. The product listing also states non-GMO, project verified, and gluten-free, providing additional assurance for consumers managing dietary needs. Avocado oil offers a cleaner fat profile than conventional oils, rich in heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats and vitamin E. For older adults concerned about cardiovascular health, choosing chips made with avocado oil represents a more informed choice. The sea salt provides essential minerals without the additives found in processed table salt. Boulder Canyon's approach proves you don't need chemistry to make great chips, just quality ingredients and proper technique. The non-GMO project verification means independent testing confirms no genetically modified ingredients, addressing concerns about long-term GMO consumption effects. 4. Kettle Brand. At number 4, Kettle Brand has championed traditional kettle-cooked methods since the early 80s. Their sea salt kettle-cooked chips list a short ingredient panel centered on potatoes, vegetable oil, and sea salt. The ingredient panel doesn't list artificial colors, setting these chips apart from varieties that add unnecessary dyes. Kettle cooking means small batches fried at higher temperatures for shorter times, creating that distinctive hearty crunch. The process requires more attention, but produces superior texture and potato flavor. For consumers who value traditional food preparation, kettle cooking represents a direct connection to how chips were made before automation. These chips taste like potatoes because they are potatoes, not starch blends or potato-based products. 3. Route 11. Claiming number 3, Route 11 proves that regional producers can compete by prioritizing purity. Their lightly salted product lists select potatoes, sunflower oil, and sea salt. The same page states gluten-free and identifies peanut-free production, addressing multiple allergen concerns. Route 11 operates in Virginia, cooking chips in small batches using traditional methods. Sunflower oil provides a neutral flavor that lets the potato shine while offering a better fat profile than alternatives. The peanut-free production claim matters enormously for consumers with peanut allergies, eliminating cross-contamination concerns. Route 11's commitment to simple ingredients and transparent production makes them a standout choice for anyone prioritizing real food. 2. Cape Cod. At number 2, Cape Cod has defended traditional chip making since 1980. Their original style product lists potatoes, vegetable oil, and sea salt. The published product description identifies the kettle-cooked style and provides complete nutrition information. Cape Cod's kettle cooking creates those characteristic uneven surfaces and hearty crunch that mass-produced chips can't replicate. The potatoes are sliced thick enough to maintain structure during high-heat cooking, creating chips with genuine potato flavor. For New England natives, the brand's national expansion represents success without compromise. These chips prove that simple execution of basic technique trumps food science complexity every time. 1. 365 by Whole Foods Market. Taking the top spot as the absolute best potato chip choice, 365 by Whole Foods Markets. Organic sea salt potato chips represent the pinnacle of clean ingredients. The Whole Foods listing shows organic potatoes, organic vegetable oil, and organic sea salt. The product carries USDA organic certification, providing independent verification of organic status. That certification means the potatoes were grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or GMO technology. For consumers worried about glyphosate contamination affecting conventional crops, organic certification provides assurance. The organic vegetable oil comes from seeds grown without genetic modification or pesticide application. Whole Foods 365 label applies the same ingredient standards the chain requires of all products, but at more accessible pricing. These chips prove that organic doesn't require compromise on taste, just commitment to better agriculture and cleaner production. There you have it, 12 potato chip brands hiding allergen failures, contamination concerns, and processed ingredients behind familiar packaging, and 5 brands that actually deliver simple, safe chips made right. Before your next shopping trip, remember to check ingredient panels carefully, avoid brands with recall histories, and choose organic when possible. If this video changed how you'll navigate the chip aisle from now on, help others make better choices by sharing this information with friends and family who deserve to know what they're really eating. Thanks for watching, and here's to smarter snacking that doesn't gamble with your health.